Well, it looks like we may have been right about something. Find out what that is on an all-new live edition of Locked On Yankees.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in the country. I'm Stacey Gotsulias. He's Brian McKeon. We'd like to thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. In case you don't know who we are, you just know us as the hosts of the show because it's the first time you're watching this. I wrote about the Yankees and baseball in general for over a decade. Brian hosted on WFAN, the biggest sports station in New York. So yeah, and we're lifelong Yankee fans. So that makes us experts on the Yankees as well. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Before tip-off, check out the FanDuel app, see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour, which is every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That's pretty exciting. Also exciting, today's show, we have some news from around the league. Former Yankee is now going to be a Philly. We'll tell you who we're talking about, and it's not necessarily like a player position. So there's your hint. Cody Bellinger has another offer on the table. So we're going to talk about that. But first, something we spoke about on the show a month and a day ago is now in the news. Brian, tell everyone.
Yeah, it's nice to pat yourself on the back sometimes, right? So Joel Sherman and John Heyman both reported later on Sunday that the Yankees are in deep conversations with the Marlins starting pitcher Edward Cabrera. This is obviously big news, something that we discussed way back on December 4th. We did an episode highlighting potential trade pieces and specifically Edward Cabrera during the episode. Stacey, we have a clip from that episode that we're going to play right now for all you guys to hear what we had to say back then. Edward Cabrera from the Marlins. Now, he's a right-handed pitcher. You guys might not be that informed of who he is, and I honestly wouldn't blame you. There's a 40% chance he gets moved, and apparently the Yankees are aggressively in on him. He turns 28 this year. He has 3 years of control left. That might be an indication of why they're in on him. Here's the thing. He's very heavy on a two-seamer fastball combination. He's developing a slider as we speak. He throws both fastballs at around 97 miles an hour, and his location is apparently impeccable. Apparently, he has excellent location. He just puts the ball in the wrong spot a lot of the time. So if that makes sense, it might not. The location's great. He can spot the ball perfectly. He just doesn't have command when he needs to. And it's been a problem for him throughout his career. And there's a lot of thought out there that a guy like Matt Blake can fix that. That is a perfect passion project for Matt Blake. The location's good. The velocity is good. Stuff is good. He just doesn't put it where it needs to go in the right moment. He's not good at knowing where to go with the pitches and where to put them and stuff. If he can develop that and develop a sense for the game and get put behind there with a really good catcher, that's a guy with a really high upside the Yankees are probably very interested in, that they seem to be. So an under-the-radar kind of guy, but a guy I could see the Yankees going after, especially, again, these guys you can put in the lab with Matt Blake tend to work out more often than not. I'll say this before anything. Matt Blake has earned the credibility to be able to, have the Yankees go after players that he likes. And he's earned that over the, couple of years now that he's been in charge of the Yankees pitching department. Edward Cabrera is the exact kind of guy the Yankees would be interested in, though, right? 3 years of control left. He's not really a passion project. He is a stable major leaguer, but tremendously high upside. Probably needs a change of environment. Probably needs to be with a real dedicated major league franchise, for lack of a better word. And the talent level is there. Plus, you're not bringing him in to be a superstar, Stacey. You're bringing him in to be a 5. Right. If that's the case, he can work on all the things he needs to work on, eat innings. The more and more I think about this, the more and more I think this is exactly what the Yankees are looking for. And it's the exact piece that this isn't just the innings eater, right? There's potential here for him to actually turn into a stud. And worst case scenario, he's an innings eater, which is exactly what you should be looking for. I do think the price will be a little bit heftier than people want to admit. But this is what's out there. And we talked about it. The pitching market this offseason is very, very steep. So I don't hate this move, and it seems like they're getting closer and closer as the hours go down.
Who do you think would be in the package for Cabrera?
I think it's 2 guys in your top 10. And I think that excludes, like, there's no way it's a Spencer Jones, no way it's a Lombard, but I think one of your top pitchers, right? It's
like a Ben Hess.
Ben Hess feels like a move all offseason we've talked about that could be moved in a deal.
Yeah.
I don't know if they really have a flavor for moving LaGrange. I don't think that's in their cards. I think there's too much upside there for them to want to move him. I do think Hess is one of those guys they could want to moving. And then you go down into the farm system, into the 10 to 14 ranked prospect range of where you'll probably look to move someone. That's probably where they wind up moving. And I think it's those 2 guys and probably a lower end single A prospect that gets this kind of deal done. Again, it's not your top tier guys.
So you don't think Dominguez is going? Because I saw mentions of Dominguez being part of a package for.
Here's the thing.
Cabrera.
If it's Dominguez, it lowers the cost of other minor leaguers. If the Yankees are so invested in keeping their minor league system where it's at, Dominguez allows them to not trade as many of those other prospects out of their system. I don't know if the talent level is equal there, though. I don't know if the talent level is equal of trading Dominguez for Cabrera. It
would be Dominguez and maybe a lower.
Yeah,
level.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't because I think the upside is too large for Dominguez there. And I think people think there's great upside for Cabrera. They do. But it hasn't been shown, I don't think, to the level of Dominguez. And are you giving up on Dominguez after 1 year? For Edward Cabrera? If it's Tarek Skubal we're talking about, absolutely.
Right, yeah.
but for a Cabrera, I'll tell you this. I even think, and I don't want the guy, but I even think if they were in on Sandy Alcantara, I think that would be almost a better move for Dominguez straight up. Because Alcantara's got the Cy Young pedigree. He's got the past performance of an ace. I don't think you can do it at this point with Cabrera. Now, again, there's ace stuff there. And again, there is plenty of evidence to suggest that Matt Blake can turn him into the ace that he's supposed to be. Like, I'm not debating that. I just don't know if trading Dominguez straight up for a guy that isn't a full known answer yet really is the best move at this point. I don't know how you feel about that. It's just something that I'm not really comfortable with.
Yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable with that either. I just saw his name mentioned as a possible piece of a trade, and for
sure. And I think on our part, all possibilities should be explored. Dominguez to me needs to be a significant return. Like it needs to be a part of a piece of a major leaguer that we've all heard of, that we all know is going to make an immediate impact. We don't know if Cabrera is going to make an impact. Like, you'd love to get him in the lab with Matt Blake. You'd love to see what he can do in a different environment with a lot less pressure behind him. All of those things true, and I think he fits what the Yankees are trying to do right now.
Does he have a lot of pressure in Miami, though?
He has a lot of pressure in the sense of being a number 2 behind Sandy Alcantara, and especially last year where Alcantara never got off the ground.
Right.
He was their number 1 last year. So was it pressure in Miami? No, but it's pressure to be a team's ace.
Right.
And he doesn't have to do that at all with the Yankees. Right. He's literally the number 5 starter with the Yankees. And I think that takes a lot off of you being the number 5 starter.
That's why I like moves like that. But that's why I prefer, I mean, obviously, if they had a chance to get Tarek Skubal, I'd say, yes, go get him and give half the farm. I don't care. But I like moves where it's a guy who can just come in and be one of the guys and they can work with him. And it's something that could be high risk, high reward, or medium risk, high reward.
That's what I agree with. I'd say medium risk, high reward. And the thing is, too, I don't think this is a move you're comfortable making if Matt Blake doesn't have the track record he has. But it's been it's at the point now where he's done this with enough players around the league where they bring them in and he sees things in these guys that he's able to.
Cruz.
Exactly. Who was a nothing burger throughout his entire career and then comes over here and is one of the most unhittable pitchers in baseball.
Luke Weaver.
I think the list goes on and on. Like, he's earned the credibility. Even Luis Heel, who wasn't looked at as like this stud pitcher when he first came up in his debut year, I'll call it, not his second rookie year. But then by one winter through, I guess, with Matt Blake, Luis Heel's winning the rookie of the year. So I do think that does have something to do with it. He's earned that credibility, Matt Blake, where if he really likes what a guy has and thinks he can fix the guy, that you have to go out there and give it a chance. This is how teams stay competitive over the years is you make these kind of shrewd moves. And, the noise and the talk has grown and grown and grown over the weekend now for Cabrera. It does feel like they're pushing really, really, really hard to kind of get their offseason going a little bit. That they've waited out the markets trade-wise and free agent-wise for what feels like long enough on their part. And now they're ready to make some moves. And we'll be talking about one of those in the next segment.
Yes, let's get to that. So coming up, we're going to discuss the second offer. Not that we know details, but we're going to talk about the fact that the Yankees have made a second offer to Cody Bellinger. So stay tuned for that.
As you guys know, Fridays always feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Now, every Friday night before the games tip off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. Fridays from 6 to 7:30, guys, Eastern Standard Time, have become appointment viewing with NBA Happy Hour. It opens the FanDuel app. During the Happy Hour, you get something new. Boosts, bonuses, and surprises. It's easy to check the weekly special before the tip-off and make a move before the window closes. The timing is also perfect. It's right before the games, right before your weekend starts. It adds extra time, extra energy to Friday night basketball without having to overthink it. So before tip-off, check out the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour. Every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, a little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel. It's the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. And we want to thank you guys for making Locked On Yankees your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, go check out our new Everydayer Club, where you get access to an ad-free audio feed of Locked On Yankees, compatible with Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and every major podcasting app. And you also get an invite to the members-only Locked On Everydayer Club Discord server, which includes a group chat just for our listeners of the show. You can go over to lockedonyankees.supercast.com if you're watching us on YouTube. Click that QR code in the top right-hand corner of your screen, or tap the link in our show notes where you can learn more about the Everydayer Club. Great initiative that we are going with. And again, that QR code right in the corner. If you're not as tech savvy as some of us, I'll admit that sometimes I fall into that category, so it's not an age thing. Take out your cell phone, open up the camera app, and click on and scan that QR code right there. Take a picture of it, scan it, raise your camera over it. It'll take you directly to the link. No hard work. It's super easy. It's worth it.
I mean,
right?
Having QR codes been a thing, though, for a really long time. It's all you see on TV now. Like,
yeah,
you know
here's
what I mean?
the problem. Here's the problem. I'm still holding on to the old school way of not enjoying QR codes. I don't like when I walk into a restaurant and I got to scan the table to be able to get the menu. I want to have the menu to be giant in front of me. I don't like the whole scanning the thing. So
I was watching the Today Show one morning, and they were giving away a $300 hair dryer, straightener, curler combo thing for like $50, and I hit the QR code and I got it for $50.
Worth it.
Yeah.
But that's the one scenario where I think it is worth it.
Yeah.
You think Cody Bellinger's worth it?
Yes.
At what price? Yearly, AAV.
I don't. No higher than 32.
Agreed. And I feel like the Yankees feel the same way, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So John Heyman said there's a second offer on the table the Yankees made to Cody Bellinger. Now, we had Emmanuel Barbari on, 2 weeks ago now, where he told us that the Yankee offer that he believed was 5 years that they offered him. I spoke to a good source attached to the Yankees earlier today, who told me the Yankees' second offer did not have to do with more years on the table. They are firm at 5 years. They don't want to go over 5 years. It does sound like they do have a contingent plan to go to 6 at some point in the offseason. They're not there yet. This is like basic negotiating skills, I feel like, Stacey.
Yeah.
Like you come in with 4, you wait for some team to go to 5, you go to 5, wait for some team to match you at 5, and then you go to 6 to top it off. That's what it feels like is happening here. Can't confirm that. Apparently what the Yankees did, though, because they do want Bellinger at 5 years, they offered him 5 years again, but they raised the salary. They raised the budget a little bit more. Now, all consensus seems to be this second offer is somewhere between the $30 to $32 million a year range.
Okay.
And the first offer was from 28 to 30. So they've given him somewhere between a $1 to $1.5 to $2 million raise on the first offer. I think this shows one thing specifically, Stacey. They really want Cody Bellinger. And they're not letting another team outbid them. They're not letting another team get ahead of them and wait for their offer. They want Bellinger to just sign already. And I agree with that move. Because at some point, if you're the Yankees, you have to get on with your offseason. You have to move forward with your offseason. And you can't be held hostage by what Cody Bellinger wants to do with his contract status.
I'm just thinking about the money because when I started at NBC in July of 1999, my salary was $26,000 a year. And do you know how excited I was that it was $26,000 a year? Because my previous job was only $22,000 a year. And these people are making so much more money than that. And I remember just being so excited, like $26,000 a year felt so like amazing at 24 years. Like, wow, $26,000 a year. And these guys
has changed.
These guys are like, yeah, I don't want $32 million a year. That's too low for me. I know how
changed.
If you're what I know, you all know how I know that sports works. I've been hosting the show since 2018. I've been watching the Yankees my entire life. I know how money goes. It's just, it cracks me up when I hear these figures because, wow, that is so much money.
I think if you want him, you have to go ahead and make that move, though.
Yeah.
32 million has to be the number that you get to. That seems to be the number that Bellinger wants. And yeah, I think you got to give up the 6th year. If he stinks years 4 through 6, but you win a World Series years 1 through 4, who cares?
No one cares.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. So you have to go out there and make that move. I would say this too, just to add on to the topic also.
Because I say that about every contract now. When I was younger, I can't believe that. The last like 3 years of a deal,
who cares?
They don't matter.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
It's not our money. Who cares?
And I would say this too. Why not Bichette too? Right. Why not?
I don't like that it's either or. Just get him too.
Yeah.
Figure out the rest.
I agree. And plus it's kind of a double whammy if you get Bichette too, because you're taking him away from the Blue Jays, who, by the way, seemingly get better week by week.
Right. Because thank you. Let's bring this up because we have time in the segment to do this. The Blue Jays made it to the 7th game of the World Series and nearly won. Right. And they go out right away and make a splash.
I love it.
And the Yankees give Trent Grisham a qualifying offer. That was their big splash at the start of the offseason. You would think that the team who got eliminated by the team who made it to the World Series and made it to a 7th game of a World Series against the Dodgers, unlike the Yankees who couldn't make it to a 7th game. You would think that the team who got defeated by that team would get more aggressive for the offseason and not just be like, oh, no, our team's fine. We can plug in some holes here, but no, we're okay. You're not okay because you were embarrassed in the division series by the team who made it into the World Series, who was trying to make their team better while you're sitting on your hands, doing these small moves, but nothing to really improve the team to where you think they'd make the World Series and win it.
And it relates to the Yankees on multiple fronts, right? Because while I hear your point on the Blue Jays, right? They lose in 7 games in the World Series and they go out there and they make improvements immediately. Look at the Dodgers. They won the World Series the year prior. And went out there and immediately started making moves to improve. This is what it's all about. And again, I don't see why not Bichette. Clearly,
and the Yankees used to be that team, and they're just not anymore.
Clearly, the market has lowered for Bichette. It's not what it was going into the offseason.
But you're not hearing. Are we hearing anything about it? No,
nothing. It's not being talked about, which to me is a good sign for the Yankees case. If it's not being talked about. So I think the market's clearly gotten lower for Bo Bichette. It's become a much more of a realistic possibility that he could be leaving Toronto. Why not both? That's my thing. Bellinger is a must, and I agree. There's an open position in the outfield.
Don't you feel like Dylan Cease was kind of like the clue that he was?
No, I would say.
If they get Tucker.
Well, definitely if they get Tucker, I almost feel like Okamoto is the move that kind of signifies.
Oh, that's right. We didn't talk about that. Yes.
Yeah, and we will in the next segment.
Yeah.
But I feel like the money they're starting to spend is either to put a fire under the butt of Bo Bichette or to kind of signify, hey, we're good to go in another direction.
Right.
Take this offer we're presenting you or go. The problem is I don't think they want to go to the Yankees.
Right.
So, it is a little bit of a double fold there. But, man,
if the Yankees were truly the evil empire, they would have gotten Bo Bichette. Like, they got Johnny Damon.
Yeah, right? And the Blue Jays, here's the difference in the Johnny Damon and the Jacoby Ellsbury stuff, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
The Red Sox were okay with letting those guys walk.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Yeah.
When your rival is okay with letting a player walk to you, it kind of scares me a little bit because that means they know something.
Right. Well, they definitely knew something with Ellsbury, yeah.
Or Damon, right? And Damon had a nice Yankee career, but like they knew Damon wasn't going to become the superstar that he seemed to be heading towards at Boston. Yeah. And he never really plateaued to that point. He became a very solid
major leaguer. And at that
leaguer.
Point, he was almost 10 years into his career. Like, people forget he wasn't just with Boston. He was with Kansas City. He was with Oakland. Yeah.
And he was a solid player.
Yeah.
But he never plateaued to that superstar player that there was some potential for. And I think Ellsbury, the same thing. They knew that what he gave them the year prior with the 40 stolen bases, he wasn't going better than that. So they were glad.
I don't know why the Yankees didn't.
But that's the point, right? The Blue Jays aren't letting Bichette walk to the Yankees. They want Bichette back. They've been openly vocal about wanting Bichette back. So I wouldn't be as scared if you're the Yankees of going after Bichette. It's not a repeat of Damon. Or I wouldn't say Damon's not fair. It's not a repeat of Ellsbury. It's not that.
Right.
They want him back. They want him back at their price.
I just meant being able to just go out and take someone from a division rival without it being an issue. Like they had no issue doing that, and it feels like they have that issue now. I don't know what Hal's doing, but
why not both? That's what I'm going to say. That's our little campaign on Locked On Yankees.
I wish I had the meme of the little girl saying, why not both? Because I do have that saved to my computer. I would have put it up on the screen, but
we could do it tomorrow.
We'll do it tomorrow. All right. Coming up next, news from around the league, including the signing that Toronto made that we hadn't talked about yet. So we're going to talk about that all next.
Out of nowhere, mid-show, I acquired a runny nose.
I
don't know how that happens. Like, I didn't have a runny nose all day, all week, anything, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the show, I'm stuffed up to the gills.
I'm gonna have to edit that. I'm gonna have to edit that out of the audio version.
I don't get it. It's so weird to me. You want to go to the Blue Jays or you want to go to the Phillies first? Both are Yankee related. True.
Let's talk about the Blue Jays because we did, briefly talked about it in segment 2, but let's lead off with it in segment 3.
Kazuma Okamoto, third baseman, lots of power, goes to the Blue Jays, 4 years, $60 million to Toronto. That's a hefty offer. That's a hefty offer. He's got multiple consecutive years of hitting over 20 home runs. He is considered a really good power hitter. I find this move to be a pressure point to Bo Bichette. This is not that he plays the same position as Bo Bichette.
Right.
This is a poor terminology. It's not a bat signal. It's more of a Blue Jay signal to Bo Bichette of, hey, we're okay with going in the other direction. We had no problem going in an opposite direction. We just acquired another good hitter. We just acquired a power threat. We don't need your bat anymore. And his glove is not a great piece to Bo Bichette's game. Like, that's not getting in the contract. It's Bo Bichette's bat that's getting in the contract. And they basically sent out a giant flare into the bright sky of Toronto saying, we're good without you, buddy. Take the deal or that's it. That's what I think this signifies. They went out there. They got a hitter. They got a power threat. They don't need his bat in the middle of that lineup anymore. Now, they'd love to have his bat in the middle of that lineup still.
Right.
But they are letting him know, take the offer we gave you or that's it. I don't know if that's a good sign for the Blue Jays or not, but that's to me what I view this deal as. They started to realize mid-offseason, Bichette's not willing to take the deal that we're offering him. And they realized if this is going to cost us only $60 million to potentially get Bichette back here and add a really quality third baseman, that's what they're going to do. I think this is a direct shot. Not that they didn't want to improve their positioning at third base, but it's also a direct shot at Bo Bichette. Take the deal we offered you, or we fix our offensive problems anyway.
Interesting. Yeah. I found that I don't know if I didn't see that coming, that signing.
I didn't.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by it. And I also felt the same way. I thought it was another kind of message to Bo Bichette.
I thought it was a very weird signing out of the Blue Jays perspective. Like when I opened my phone and saw that the ESPN notification that it was the Blue Jays, I was honestly stunned that it was that team.
Right.
I would have. There's a lot of other teams that would have made a lot of sense for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, in division, Baltimore,
yeah,
would have made a lot of sense there. Like there's a couple of teams that I would have seen this happening with. Toronto, to me, didn't need this threat in the middle of their lineup. Now it makes their lineup better for sure, but again, I think if this was a 9-figure deal, right, and we're going into the $100 million range, I don't think they're doing it. For $60 million, I think it's worthy. They've got good confidence he'll bring some power to the major league level, but regardless of that, they have good confidence. This sparks a light under Bo Bichette, and it lets him know, hey, we can fix the offense that we're losing if we lose you. And also, look what you could be in the middle of. You're now adding this power threat with Guerrero, with Clement, like with the other pieces they have. I think you're adding a lot. Like you're either A, enticing Bichette, but B, letting him know we can replace you. And I think that's supposed to light a fire under him. And you know what? For the Yankee perspective, let's hope it aggravates Bo Bichette. Let's hope it annoys him and he wants to go to a division rival.
But let's also hope the Yankees take advantage of it and don't just sit there on their hands and not do anything.
Again, why not both? Why not both guys? It's definitely possible. It's definitely doable. They should be able to go acquire both guys, and it shouldn't stop them. Bellinger first. Bellinger's the priority.
He's priority. I agree with that.
But there is no reason to believe why if they finish this offseason, let me ask you this real quick. If they finish this offseason with Bellinger, Bichette, and Cabrera, you have a whole different mindset going into the season. You really do.
Yeah.
I don't know why both can't be a possibility. And I don't think both aren't a possibility. I don't. Like they have not directly come forward and said, we're not interested in both guys. We're not willing to spend money. It seems to be a collective fan thought they're not going to spend a lot of money.
Right.
We don't know what they're going to do. And we don't know what a lot of teams are going to do.
Well, I think the reports coming out that Hal wants to lower payroll didn't help.
It didn't help, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's ways to keep the payroll the same way.
Like whenever that comes out at the beginning of the offseason, that basically puts it like casts a pall over the offseason and everyone's just like, oh man, they're not going to do anything worthwhile. So we'll see what happens.
I love having these old conversations about past players and what their deals would have been. What do you think Don Mattingly would have signed for?
Oh,
right. Like that kind of bat with the fielding that he like, he was the old school Mark Teixeira before there was Mark Teixeira, and he's a better hitter.
He was amazing to watch. Like he really was. Like it felt like he hit the ball all the time. Like there was that one year, what did he finish? Like 343 average, and you're just like every time you look, Don Mattingly was on base.
He would have gotten an absurd deal. Now he would have still been a Yankee his whole career, but he would have gotten an absurd contract. These guys, I wonder if you injected Don Mattingly with truth serum, what he would tell you if it really aggravates him or not. What players make nowadays.
Yeah, like if he wishes he was born 30 years later, like instead
these guys didn't make, like his era of player didn't make remotely close to what they make now. It's not even like a comparison.
No.
And he might make more now with his new job than he made playing.
Oh,
speaking of which, he was hired as the bench coach to Rob Thompson in Philadelphia. So he's making his way through I feel like throughout his career, he's making his way closer and closer to New York to be eventually work with the Yankees.
Yeah.
He went from LA, then came to the East Coast with the Marlins, then went to Toronto, got a little closer to the Northeast. Then he's in Philly. He's even closer to the Yankees.
It's an hour and a half train right away. Hour and 10 minutes.
So when the Mets fire Mendoza next year, he's going to go there, and then hopefully cross over to the Bronx after that.
Yeah. Well, it's a family affair in Philadelphia because his son Preston heads up the minor league.
There you go.
Like he's their director, I believe, the minor league director, which is amazing. So,
speaking of which, you see this, Daniel Vogelbach, he's 33 years old, so he shouldn't be at retirement age. He signed on to be the hitting coach of the Milwaukee Brewers next year, which is crazy to think about. Like there are players on their roster older than him.
Right.
And he's the hitting coach.
Yeah.
I didn't think of Daniel Vogelbach as like retirement status yet.
I didn't either. I didn't realize that he didn't I wasn't really paying attention, but I didn't realize he didn't play in 2025. Yeah.
Yeah, very odd. The Royals gave their manager, Matt Quatraro, a 3-year extension, probably very deserving with how that team's looked over the last few years. And this news I thought was wild, especially with the way people reacted over social media.
What do you mean? Yankee fans overreacting to something? That never happens.
Right? I mean, it's ridiculous. Yankees bring in Paul DeJong. They signed him to a minor league deal. This is like a pure insurance thing.
Yeah. It's
purely, he'll get at-bats in spring training. If he hits 600 in spring training, maybe he's got an outside chance of making the major league roster, of being a spell guy to fill in here and there. Like, I don't think the Yankees are not bringing him in to replace Volpe. No. So they're not bringing him in to because they're going to trade Jazz and put it. I saw all these theories online. They're going to trade Jazz and put Paul DeJong there. I saw people that were using this as an excuse to kill Cashman and the owner by saying, "Oh, look at this, making these cheap little moves, not making a serious." This is a nothing move. It's not even worth bringing up. That's why we're bringing it up in the third segment of the show.
Right.
Just stop freaking out over everything. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It's January 5th as we record this, and there is plenty of time for the Yankees to make moves. They've made offers to Cody Bellinger. They're doing things. You know, it's not like they're not in the headlines at all. I'd be more worried if you didn't hear like possible rumblings of things happening. Like if there was like no reports of anything, I would be a little more upset.
Agreed. They're involved.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in today to Locked On Yankees. Make sure you subscribe and follow Locked On Yankees so you get all the latest episodes. You can also follow us on Instagram at Locked On Yankees, all one word. And on TikTok, we're at LockedOn_Yankees. Now, if you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built for you. You can get Locked On Yankees ad-free. You get members-only Discord access, which is really cool. You can head to lockedonyankees.supercast.com to join the club. If you're still with us on YouTube, click on that QR code. It takes you to lockedonyankees.supercast.com so you can join the Insiders Club. Got to get that QR code in there. And there will be a link in the description for those of you on audio. And speaking of that, for those of you on video, we're going to send you to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. And then on audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On MLB with Sully, because Sully knows everything about baseball dating back to like 1875. He's amazing. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys in the middle of the week.